And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. So glad to see you. And we're extra excited today because in a little while we will have Magpie singing with us again. So really excited about that. And let's see. So we're going to get going with with a song actually by a friend of Terry and Greg and one of my friends too. And it's one that we've done here before, which is Swimming to the Other Side. So I will put the lyrics into the chat. And welcome to the church in Ocean Park. Let's see if I can get the lyrics to, there they are. So this is the lyric, these are the lyrics for the chorus. And then in between the choruses, we will sing peace, Saalam, Shalom. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. All right, so give it a try. We are living beneath the great big dipper. Here we go. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Peace, Saalam, Shalom. 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 All right, I hear you all. Hear you, even though I can't hear you, but so glad. All right, here we go. I am alone, but I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced on the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection, it may be my crime. In humility, I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. Here we go. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Peace, Saalam, Shalom. 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 Let me see your hands. Peace, Saalam, Shalom. Yeah. Peace, Saalam, Shalom. Peace, Saalam, Shalom. Peace, Saalam, Shalom. All right. Oh, got another verse. When we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we'll never knew that they were there. Oh, where's my words? Oh, we're balanced at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. In humility, we're together. We're all swimming to the other side. Peace, Saalam, Shalom. Peace, Saalam, Shalom. Here we go. Peace, Saalam, Shalom. Let me see you. Peace, Saalam, Shalom. Peace, salam, 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 shalom. We are living neath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. In humility, we're together. We're all swimming to the other side. Peace, salam, shalom. 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 All right. Great singing, everybody. Great moving your hands and whatnot. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. We begin by saying that we recognize that we are on the land of the indigenous peoples of the area, land that was never ceded. And so we honor the indigenous communities. We remember that difficult history. And we also recognize that people aren't gone. They're still here. And so we reach out in love and in gratitude and in solidarity and finding ways to walk together. The Church in Ocean Park is a caring and interfaith congregation. We celebrate diversity, treating ourselves and others with respect. And our gatherings support and educate and challenge us in our relationships to self and other, embracing creative expression, singing at every opportunity. Today's a real good day for that. And working for social justice. And all are parts of our spiritual life together. You are welcome. You are welcome. You may be saying, so who is welcome in this community? You are welcome if you're Muslim, if you're Jewish, if you're Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, Wiccan, atheist, some combination of all or something else all together. We extend a special invitation to those who are single, those who are married, divorced, gay, transgender, filthy rich, or dirt poor. We extend an invitation to those who are crying newborns, just browsing, or just woke up, or just got out of jail. We don't care if you are more religious than the Pope or haven't been to a synagogue since your nephew's bar mitzvah. And we extend my favorite invitation to those who are over 60, but not yet growing up. Yes. And to teenagers and young adults who feel like they're growing up too fast. We invite soccer moms, tree huggers, latte sippers, musicians playing various instruments, vegetarians, junk food eaters. We invite those who are in recovery or still addicted. We invite you if you are having problems, if you're feeling down in the dumps, or if you don't like organized religion. We invite you if you're feeling grieving and trauma from all that has been going on in the news of late. And I know I'm certainly feeling that each day. And we offer a special invitation to those who work too hard, don't work, have lost their jobs because of the pandemic, or are frontline workers who can't spell, or because they're bored, staying home all day, are way too tired of being on Zoom, but heard that this is a strange church and wanted to check it out. We invite those who are inked or pierced or both, and we have a special invitation to those who could use a prayer right now, or if you had religion shoved down your throat as a kid. Tourists, seekers, doubters, bleeding hearts, and you. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. We do have a special way that each week we gather ourselves And we center ourselves by using a chant from Thich Nhat Hanh. And the words say, I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. It's a chant, and we will chant it 3 times. Take a nice deep breath. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home in the here and in the now. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Kim. I'm here to introduce our musical special guests, Magpie, Greg Artzner, and Terry Leonino. Terry and Greg started out in Kent, Ohio in September of 1973. They moved to Washington, D.C. the following year, and after being regular stalwarts of the folk music scene there for 34 years, they moved to upstate New York, where they live now. With a career that has spanned more than 40 years, Magpie has traveled the globe, bringing their unique sound and breathtaking versatility to audiences everywhere. From traditional songs to vintage blues, swing and country to folk classics to contemporary and stirring original compositions, they cover a lot of musical ground. And they have at least 2 recordings with Kim Harris and Reggie Harris. And it's wonderful to have you back. They were here last year at this time on Earth Day. I believe today's Earth Day, yes?
Yes, we're going to do some Earth Day songs.
Earth Day.
Welcome, Greg and Terry, Magpie.
Louise.
Thank you so much. Well, we're going to start off with a song that we wrote about the sort of grandmother of Earth Day. She didn't start Earth Day, but she certainly started the movement that led to its establishment, and that would be, of course, the great Rachel Carson.
And Silent Spring had a profound influence on many people all over the world. And Pete Seeger started his boat, the Clearwater, to clean up the Hudson River because of reading that book. So, as a shiro, we'd like you to help us sing the chorus, and Greg will line it out to you.
Well, the chorus is simply, gentle warrior for the earth, walk beside me, walk beside me. The wonder of their winged journey northward every year, bringing back their music to the birth of springtime here. For thousands of miles over land and over sea, the circle is unbroken, forever wild and free. Just one part of the tapestry that we stand to lose, sacrifice for our comfort, up to us to choose. One woman stood before the world with chilling words to say, a gentle urgent warning, find another way. Oh, gentle warrior for the earth, walk beside me, walk beside me.
Try it.
Oh, gentle warrior for the earth, walk beside me, walk beside me. She stood with quiet dignity as a firestorm swirled round, facing the accusers who tried to bring her down. But soon her words of prophecy were known the whole world wide. Her vision for the earth would cause the turning of the tide. Oh, gentle warrior for the earth, walk beside me, walk beside me. And if they try to silence her, they tried to smear her name. The scientists of industry had to cover up their shame. Now down on the rocky coastline, where the salt winds damp and cool, where there's a miracle of the web of life in every tidal pool. Whenever you hear a theory or a thrush sing out his song, the soul of Rachel Carson is there singing along. Oh, gentle warrior for the earth, walk beside me, walk beside me. Wonder of their winged journey northward every year, bringing back their music to the birth of springtime here. For thousands of miles over land and over sea, the circle is unbroken, forever wild and free. Oh, gentle warrior for the earth, walk beside me, walk beside me, walk beside me, walk beside me.
Secota is a renowned poet. As a matter of fact, if you traveling, you might see her name on a billboard in downtown Los Angeles. Look for her name, Elena Secota. She can tell you where that billboard is. But here she is. She's going to read for us an Earth Day poem. Elena, are you here?
Yes.
Hey, wonderful. Just in time. I was talking about your billboard, and I can't remember where that billboard is, Elena. Can you?
It's at Gateway Shopping Center, Santa Monica and La Brea.
Oh, wonderful.
So it's really, I mean, they look amazing, and I'm honored. And thank you. I miss you all, guys.
Miss you too. I'm so glad to see you.
Thank you.
You need to take a breath, or are you ready for your?
I'm fine. So here's my poem for Earth Day. All drains lead to the ocean. Down by the ocean after a storm, clear blue skies, crisp clean air, and the purest waves hurrying to meet the shore. But the shore is sluggish, overloaded by all the debris washed away from the cities. Everything that everyone throws away soon will be eaten by fish. Styrofoam cups depleting our ozone layer, unrecycled plastic bottles taking forever to disintegrate, countless cigarette filters disposed of nonchalantly, Greenland and Antarctica ice caps melting rapidly, polar bears lost, our cities flooding, weather patterns changing everywhere, fires burning. I want to leave a great earth as a legacy to our children to be enjoyed, not living in fear of the next natural disaster brought on by human indifference. Climate change is real and is affecting everyone. All drains lead to the ocean.
Well, it's so interesting that you would say, give that poem, Elena, because we're going to do a song called Something in the Rain. And it's a beautiful song.
It was written by Tish Hinohosa, Tejana songwriter from Texas. She's a wonderful, wonderful songwriter and a friend of ours. We love this song. It's a song about the direct impact on human health of pesticides in our environment. Lately, Terry and I have been getting more and more concerned about what's happening with the oceans as well. We'll talk about that when we do the next song, because it's a big, big issue that goes way beyond the plastics. So anyway, this is called Something in the Rain.
Mom and Dad have worked the fields. I don't know how many years. I'm just a boy, but I know how. I go to school when work is slow. We have seen our country's roads. Bakersfield to Illinois. And when troubles come our way, oh yeah, I've seen my daddy pray. There's something wrong with little sister. I hear her crying by my side. Mom is shaking when she holds her. Try to hold her through the night. Mom says, close your eyes, Mijito. Dream of someplace far from here. Like the pictures in your school book. Someday you can take us there. There must be something in the rain. I'm not sure just what that means. Abuelita talks of sins of man, of dust that's in our hands. There must be something in the rain. What else can cause this pain? Those airplanes cure the plants so things can grow. Oh no, there must be something in the rain. Working long again. Me, I think I understand about our life, about our land. Well, talkers talk and dreamers dream, and I will find my place between. I'm afraid, but I believe that we can heal these hurting fields. 'Cause there's something in the rain, but there's more here in our hands. Juanita's right about the sins of
you. Beautiful. Thank you so much. How much do we love them, you guys? Yes, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have you every week. That would be great.
That would be fun.
You're always here. All right. Thank you so much. So I'm Reverend Janet Gollery McKeithan, and I'm the minister of the church in Ocean Park. And I'm glad to see all of you. You're so wonderful. And this is Earth Day Sunday. Earth Day is actually on the 22nd, which is Thursday, but we're celebrating it this week and next week as well. But we're also doing a number of other things because we can't just do one thing at the church in Ocean Park. There are many things that come into play all week long at different times. So, but Earth Day is a very important day that was established April 22nd, 1970. That's how long ago. And you know how long ago I went to college? Not too long after that. And in college, we took it seriously that there was global warming. And we thought, of course, that we would solve it long before this. And so when they say it's urgent, it was urgent even then. And we still haven't taken care of it. There's still people who don't believe that we ought to be doing anything about that. But when I was in college, there was a tremendous urgency, and I bought this cookbook called Diet for a Small Planet. Haven't any of you got that? I still have it. And it's not just a cookbook, but it talks about how what we eat affects the rest of the planet, affects the people on the planet, affects people in the United States, but it also affects people in other countries. It creates poverty. If we eat too much meat and that takes much more land than it does to grow grains. And so we have the capacity to feed everybody. Nobody should be starving in the world, but we don't do that because many reasons. Greed is the main one, but also, you know, the amount of meat. So we knew that back then. We've been knowing that for a very long time, but we just don't have the political will to do much about it. So we have to keep struggling, because if we don't, it'll get even worse. So we promoted individual actions, or we wrote letters to legislators when I was in college. Many of us bought that book and other books, and we learned all kinds of things. And Jerry Rubin, if he was here, would be happy to know that we also planted many, many trees. And there's something about trees from the sacred text of the Christian tradition I'd like to read to right now from the Bible, from Luke 6:43 to 45. Says, "No good tree bears bad fruit, nor again does a bad tree bear good fruit. For each tree is known by its own fruit. Figs are not gathered from thorns, nor grapes picked from a bramble bush. The good person out of the good treasure of the heart produces good. The evil person out of evil treasure produces evil. For it is out of the abundance of the heart that the mouth speaks." Now, I don't really like talking about people as evil people, but other than that, I wanted to read that today because it has a lot to do with what's going on in the world right now in the United States. So I want to pause for a moment before I speak about this. Scripture directly relates to what's happening in our country. This week, another young Black man was murdered by police. Dante Wright. Say his name, Dante Wright. We are also on the precipice of the verdict of the trial of the murderer of George Floyd. This be in a moment of silence as we anticipate that verdict and as we understand that trauma that is caused by that. The Bible says there are no bad tree bears good fruit. No oppressive system bears good fruit. This isn't about one bad apple. The system is set up to enable this to happen. The caste system that was set up from the beginning of this country to keep itself in place, it creates a scenario where it feels, to people in the dominant culture, it feels like this is what's supposed to happen. They don't even see what's happening. It's because it's designed for us not to see it. So it may take a multitude of videos and books and conversations before we even start to question what's happening. But this isn't a contest to see who Who's first? Who saw something first? Who understands a new perspective first? Whenever we start to get a wider perspective is okay. It's good that we get a wider perspective. In fact, it's a miracle if we do break through and see anything. We aren't supposed to break through. We are meant to keep the caste system going, and the system itself will work hard to punish us if we do recognize what's happening. Policing, jails, military, the election process, churches, we all work together to keep the oppressive system in place, to keep some people as being treated less than other people and make it seem normal. There may be disagreement about what to do about the toxic systems. We disagree in this church, but we agree on this. There are too many Black folks who are being killed in our streets, in their own cars, in the gym, in their own homes, sleeping, awake. Too many Black people are being killed because even one is too many. We have work to do to interrupt this system, a lot of work, and to care for our neighbors. And there isn't a clear path always to follow. There's work to do to dismantle systems that are destroying people and destroying our planet. To do this work and not become overwhelmed and get burned out, we need to care for ourselves and for each other. We need to take time off, unplug, eat right, talk with friends, create something. Pay attention to our spirit. Body, mind, and spirit are all important. I may not have mentioned something to you, but I have a granddaughter, and her name is Sophie. Sophie embodies spirit. Sophie teaches me about life. Sophie is 9 months old, and she's never had anyone visit in her home for her entire little 9-month life. Her little space includes her mom, her dad, her 2 kitties, and her big dog. She has not had a play date. Nobody comes to visit. She does go on walks. Sometimes she sees people from a distance, but they have their mouth covered and their nose. So 3 of us, 3 new people, invaded her space recently. It clearly was unusual for her. Yes, I was very pleased. These 3 people included me invading her space recently. She had met us before, but we were in this little Zoom box like we are today. And so she was surprised that we had actual feet and legs. She may not have even recognized us. We don't know. Of course, we were ready to pick her up and hug her all over the place and as kids smother her with kisses, but she let us know that this was her space and she would invite us closer to her in her own time. So we visited her for a little bit and we left, and we visit for a little bit and we left. And after a while, she began to realize that we actually did love her, and actually her mom was not going to leave and she was going to still be safe. I realized that some parents had no choice but to share babysitting responsibilities during COVID, and they did share babies back and forth so that they could work. But many babies born during this year have not had any visitors or any play dates. Their mothers haven't had the support that I did as a young mother in meeting with other moms. But this has been that kind of year for everybody, no matter what stage of life you're in. High school seniors didn't have their senior events. College freshmen were not meeting people in the dorm. Weddings had to be put off. People in assisted living situations didn't have visitors. Theater and music productions were postponed or canceled. All stages and all situations of life were affected. During this past year, we suddenly had to do all kinds of new things. Everything was done in a different way. In the church, there were a multitude of decisions to make all of a sudden at the same time while learning this new technology. You're all amazing. Think about what you did. The decision-making groups of the church in Ocean Park had to meet immediately in a way that nobody had ever met before. You know, it's great to be a democratic, community-based, non-dictatorial group, but that meant that decisions are made by a group. And we had to figure out how to get together. And if somebody couldn't make it to Zoom, we had to figure out how to get them on. But you all figured it out quickly. We love together, even for this kind of church. You all figured out how to be here this morning. I'm so grateful to you that immediately we began to move into new ways of being. And even if you haven't been to this church in Ocean Park before, you did the same thing in your circles. You figured it out. You figured out how to move and be in this new way of being immediately. So raise your hand if you've learned anything new this year. Okay. All right. Put in the chat what you learned. It could be about yourself. It could be a new craft. I mean, some people learn some other things, and some people just learned about themselves, that they are very, very people oriented and sad, but you figured it out. We also didn't stop doing what we were doing at the church in Ocean Park. We never stopped working for racial justice. As a matter of fact, after the murder of George Floyd, many more people joined our Committee for Racial Justice, sort of overflowing, and our book group. Both of these groups had already immediately gone to being virtual, so they were ready for people who were eager to make a difference. Our Children's Peace Camp, our middle school girl central programs, they all went online, and the encouragement group and the women's spirituality group. We continued to be a part of Healthy LA Coalition, focusing especially on the prison system and housing people during COVID. Our holiday party could have canceled, but instead found a way to still spread the love to our community through a COVID-safe toy pickup. Amazing. In other words, most of the social justice and care programs continued without interruption when the pandemic hit. That is amazing, you guys. We realized that we needed more, though. We needed connection, and so immediately we created circles of connection that have now been going for a year. We also immediately began Tuesdays at 2. These are 2 new brand ways of connecting that began immediately and may continue long into the future in their current new forms. We also just had something for a while called rotating rooms, where you could come and talk about anything you wanted to with anybody who showed up. But we decided after about 3 months that had run its course, and so we don't have that any longer. So you have things when you need them. I'm going to read a second scripture. You'll be very surprised. Jesus and the miraculous catch of fish. After Jesus appeared again to his disciples by the Sea of Galilee, it happened this way. Simon Peter, Thomas, Nathanael, sons of Zebedee, and 2 other disciples were together. I'm going out to fish, Simon Peter told them. And then they said, we'll go with you. So it wasn't COVID. They all went together, right next to each other. So they went out again, and they went out and got into the boat together. But that night they caught nothing. Early in the morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples didn't know who it was. He probably had his mask on. He called out to them, friends, haven't you any fish? No, they said. He said, throw your net on the right side of the boat and you'll find some. When they did, they were unable to haul the net in because there were so many fish in their net. The church in Ocean Park not only continued, but expanded. They had too many fish in their net. I may not have mentioned, but I have a granddaughter named Sophie. Sophie's doing the same thing. If one way doesn't work, she casts her net on the other side. She doesn't stay the same. She continually changes and expands. She's a model for us. She stays curious. She may go to the same park many, many times, but she sees new trees and trees acting in a different way and other things every time she goes. She does new things. And that's what we do at the church in Ocean Park. We are seeing things in new ways. That's what you're doing in your life right now. When you just walk around the park, the block so many times in a row, you see different things. You notice new things each time. That's what I do. For example, at the church in Ocean Park, we're seeing things in new ways. For example, loving our neighbor. When the pandemic hit, suddenly loving your neighbor means staying away from them. We see our daily routine in new ways. Did any of you go through a time where you were trying to figure out what you're going to do today? In the very beginning, especially, what in the world? We all had to figure out what our daily lives would be like. Some folks decided to take up a new skill. Some decided they could grow a garden. Some decided maybe they'll cook now. Some weren't sure what to do. Do you remember about a month into the pandemic when people were posting and talking all about their new skills, and then the people who weren't felt badly? It was unsettling. We were all trying to find our place. We were all trying to learn Zoom all at the same time. We had to determine whether or if we would even go to the store. We had a lot to navigate all at once. What about birthdays? What about our regular doctor appointment? Would we keep that? Now, when we see, we all had a lot to navigate, and when we see that gathering may actually happen just over the horizon, I want us to take a moment and recognize all that we've done. Recognize what you have done as an individual and what we've done as the church in Ocean Park. I invite you to take yourself off mute, and just for a moment, I want you to clap and hoot and holler unless your neighbors will throw you out. And say, I did such a great job. This is so wonderful. Okay, ready? Take yourself off mute. We're going to give ourselves a round of applause. A round of applause. You're all.
Yay! We're good.
Go team!
All doing great.
We did well.
Okay, you navigated. You can turn off on mute, back on mute. But you navigated this year, and you are still an important, loving, caring, curious part of this community. How did you manage this? That's what I want to know. How in the world did you do it? How did you all do it? How did we all do it? We did all of this, and we stayed engaged as a church and helping create a better world. We were involved in caring for people this whole time. Through the encouragement group, fighting racism, supporting children and middle school girls, working against evictions, helping people express themselves and do self-care on Tuesdays, helping homebound people with COVID testing, which Ernie organized and we'll tell you a bit about later. We supported Communitas, we did pastoral care, we advocated, protested, strategized. We continued everything, and we increased a lot of it. The pandemic has pushed us to explore new and create new ways of being. We'll continue many of these new ways into the future. We are now beginning to see the pandemic lift just a bit. I can see it on the horizon. Now is the time to look at how do we want to be. You know, I know we can't wait to be together. I can't wait either. And it may be tempting to want to go back to 2019. But we all know and we all realize that the ways of 2019 won't bear fruit in 2021. I know we all realize that what we are doing as a society, what we're doing in 2019 is what allowed 2020 to happen, right? How we were in 2019 allowed us to 2020 to happen the way that it did. Let's not do that. Let's not go back there. Let's not go back to the place that allows the most vulnerable people among us, the essential workers, to take care of the rest of us so we can stay safe. Let's not go there. Let's not allow those on the bottom of the immoral caste system to remain at the bottom. Let's not go back there. Let's not just dismantle the deadly caste system once and for all. Let's resolve now, while we are looking at the horizon, to work at a better world, not going back to how we were in 2019. Let's go to a better place. And let's remember how creative we are. Look at what we did all of a sudden last year at this time. We are creative. How it suddenly did new things, how we kept the spirit of the church, but expressed it in new ways. We know how to do this. We can do it. We have just shown that this pandemic was not enough to shut us down, to hold us down, to keep us quiet. We won't stop now. We are creative. We are resilient. We are strong. We are a community. And you have all shown that when one person has to step away for a while, you don't stop. I had to be out for a bit this year. It didn't stop Church in Ocean Park. Nothing stops Church in Ocean Park, except the only thing that can stop us is not believing in the power that we have to do things differently. What can stop us is not realizing that we have the creativity We have the power and we have the resilience. Same thing with each of you in your own lives. That's the only thing that can stop you, is not believing in your own power. You do have the creativity. You did make it through this year, and you can do what you want, what you think is necessary in this coming year. Let's not put old ways into it, this new jar. This time of hopefulness, this time of anticipation, let's create with it a new world and a new way. Let's take after my granddaughter, Sophie. Let's build on the base of who we are. Let's find creative ways to get where we're going. And in 2021, the stronger, revised version of the church in Ocean Park will emerge. Amen.
Earlier, that we're all sharing this land with the First Nations. And
we are on the land of the Mohawk.
yes, we are on the land of the Mohawk. But way back in the early 90s, we were doing some work with the Dene people, the Navajo. And they were being threatened with a thing back then that wasn't even on the front page news called fracking. And of course, their land had uranium. The elders came and we had a dinner with them, and they really wanted us to write a song. Well, it took a couple of years before something actually gelled. It doesn't always come like that. But you can help us sing it, and it's called Water is Life. Now, of course, you hear that phrase all the time now. And the chorus is?
The chorus is, Mother Ocean nourishes me at full moonlight tide at the edge of the sea. Water is life, water is life. And we wanted to mention that one of the things that we're dealing with right now that a lot of people don't really quite know about it. A lot of people do know about the pollution of our oceans with debris, with junk, mostly with plastic junk that just doesn't biodegrade. A large part of the plastic junk that actually is being dumped in the ocean is not just trash, it's fishing nets, plastic fishing nets. And one of the biggest problems that we're having in this world right now, and that may actually ultimately be a serious danger to life on land, is overfishing. Overfishing of our oceans in the industrial fishing industry around the world.
Not to mention that they just recently released all the radioactive water from Fukushima, which is going to affect all of us, even all the way on the East Coast. So here's a song that celebrates the water and asks us to protect it.
to the sky where western winds will blow. Those clouds enshroud my mountaintop, feed the forest with their rain, and run down to the rivers and back home to you again. Mother Ocean nourishes me at full moonlight tide at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Water is life. Mother Ocean nourishes me at the edge of the sea. Water is life. I'm gonna lay my body down on the salt seeker sand and let the waves wash over me, the foam running through my hand. Mother Ocean nourishes me at full moonlight tide at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Water is life. Mother Ocean nourishes me at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Everything I am and everything I need, I know it's true, it comes from you. Water is the seed, little Mother Ocean planet in a universe so wide. We've got to rise up like the moon and try to turn the tide. Mother Ocean nourishes me at full moonlight tide at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Water is life. Mother Ocean nourishes me at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Mother Ocean nourishes me at full moonlight tide at the edge of the sea. Water is life. Water is life. Mother Ocean nourishes me at full moonlight tide at the edge of the sea. Water is life. 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 Water is life.
Now it's time for community sharing. People, you can share anything you like. So we'll open it up first with Ernie Powell. He has a special message for us today. Ernie, can you unmute and speak to us?
I have unmuted. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, well, thank you. About a year ago, just as we started to learn of the dangers of the pandemic, I got a phone call from Sean Casey O'Brien. Many of you know him. He lives in Barnard Villa, which is about literally less than a mile from the church. It's one of the buildings that we won during the Ocean Park redevelopment fight many years ago, and he's lived there now for many years. He's disabled with cerebral palsy, but he can run faster with his crutches than I can walk. He's an amazing guy. And he told me that there was a man in the building that had gone to the hospital, and in the hospital at St. John's, the man died. And the best guess is that he died of COVID-19. So what Sean wanted to do was he wanted to get the building tested. And he knew that the County Board of Supervisors and the Department of Health was managing all of that. So he and I got on the phone with Zach Geisick, who's the West Side representative for Shield Kuehl. And in two separate phone calls, we asked that a testing team be sent to Barnard. And they declined. They said no. They said, take your folks over to one of the open, free testing sites, such as the one at Santa Monica City College. And our answer back was, but they can't walk. They're old. They're disabled. Some of them can. Frankly, most of them can. But the point is, they would be more in danger by going to get that test because of COVID-19 exposure than they would by staying at home. So our political instincts sort of led to the creation of an organization. And that organization took us a while to think of a name, but it was called the Coalition for Mobile In-Home Testing. And now we've extended it to vaccinations. We lobbied every single member of the board, including Sheila Kuehl. The board for the County Board of Supervisors is a 5-member elected body. They are responsible for public policy for 10 million Angelenos, which in itself is beyond remarkable. And we worked them really hard. And people in the church, I spoke to you, I think maybe 2 months into that, and people in the church, you all helped out. And the reason why I wanted to report to you today is that your work paid off. And through lots of lobbying, some press reports, we had people come and go, but we basically sustained this new organization and we stayed at it. And finally, on March 23rd, last month, the County Board of Supervisors, in a motion authored by Hilda Solis, who represents the eastern part of the county, very poor, very low income districts, proffered a resolution that directed the County Board of Health to come up with a plan to do in-home vaccination shots for people that are homebound. So I would be the first to say it took way too long. The minute Sean and I knew of all this, we knew it had to be done differently. But that's for us to think about at a different time. So at this moment, the County Board of Supervisors has directed the county health folks to create a plan that says, how do we reach, and there's an estimate of over 200,000 people that are homebound in this county. Everybody on this call, I guarantee you, knows somebody like that. And I mean that sort of anecdotally. I don't know that, but I'm guessing I can think of a woman in my building here at the Gaylord in that situation. She's independent, she's ambulatory, she's wonderful, but she would need help to get to a testing site. So we need to bring the vaccine to her. And that's what you got done.
Well, I want to,
because of your work on March, because of your work and your organizing, you were part of this. And so I just wanted to commend you, thank you, report to you. And once this, and they were told to get a report and plan done within 21 days of March 31st, and that is passed. So now we got to leverage more pushing and et cetera, and deal with one of your neighbors on the other side of Lincoln, Stephanie Cohen. She's a staffer for Kuehl. We had an interesting back and forth on Facebook this morning. We got to keep leveraging. We got to keep pushing. But what I'm asking, I'm doing two things here. I'm thanking you for your engagement, your involvement. I learned a long time ago that the best way not to get beat up by a grower was take a minister with a white thing on their neck. To some extent, I was exploiting Janet. But the point being is that you helped to do this, and you should feel very proud. The second thing is think about people that would qualify for it. Just think about them. Note it down. I will send out a phone number to call. And the more calls we get that request this service, the faster they're going to get this report done, and the faster we can start saving more lives.
Thank you, Ernie. And I want to just, let's say, give Ernie a hand. Ernie is the one that people came in and out, but Ernie was always there pushing it. And you know how people have character, everybody's a character. So every single person that Ernie dealt with was a character, except for our own Lori Delgado, who she was very involved with this. More, you know, I was in and out, but mostly out. But Ernie spearheaded this, and he doesn't stop. So if you want to know someone who doesn't stop until it gets done, it's Ernie Powell. So thank you so much, Ernie. And we'll go to the next person, but I really appreciate it. If you have any more questions, you can chat with Ernie right now, or I can give you his.
I'll post it in the chat.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I see a hand up over at the Claudia, Craig, Kevin area. Please unmute and speak.
All right, this is Claudia. Craig is going to hold up. Can you see it? Okay. This is, bring it closer. This is, can you guys see my fish, my ocean? Does the pattern come out at all? Those fish swirling. And this is on an altar in my room. I, as you guys know, have gotten very sick. And I finally have figured out by working with these people from Switzerland and Costa Rica and Seattle, that's plastic. Probably from when I grew up in the Detroit, on this island in the Detroit River, and then coming out here to LA and having dental work done by a high-tech dentist. But I basically got soaked with plastic that solubilized. And I'm figuring out how to get it out. I'm figuring it out because I'm a nephrologist and I do dialysis. And I'm finally, I got all my teeth out. I'm doing hyperbaric oxygen. The stuff comes out in bubbles that are non-physiologic. It volatilizes. But I guess what I'm saying is finally there's hope. And thank you for the sermon. I mean, I really feel like it's directed at me. And as Ernie says, things need to be done differently because what I have, probably many people have. And people are addressing it. I guess I don't know what to say, but I have felt like a fish swimming backwards, and maybe now I'm going to be swimming forwards. Thank you all for your support.
Thank you, Claudia. Craig Ali, let's hear what you have to say today.
My question is to Ernie, speaking on behalf of the county. I'm wondering specifically, does that legislation address those that are incarcerated? And if so, how extensive and wide a program is that? Because they are also besieged with this disease as well.
The answer to that is no. But I get your point, and I agree with you. And in fact, I think that I had a friend die who was doing ministry to in fact, Janet, you may know him, Glenn Larson. Do you remember Reverend Glenn Larson? You may have, but anyway, Glenny, because he was like a brother to me, passed away around 3 months ago now, and he was serving prisoners right around the Arizona border, and I remember in a few conversations I had with him when he first got that gig, was he was saying everybody here's got COVID. There's incredible exposure, and and then about 3 months later, he sadly passed away. He was part of the, just a little more background. He was part of the, he was one of the he went to Claremont School of Theology, where Jim went. I think Janet went there, I'm not sure. And all the hip left-wing wacky ministers in the world go there, and we love them for it. But so Glennie died, and I gotta believe it was from that. But no, we did not cover that.
I just saw that Justice LA is working on that, Trudy says.
Say again?
Justice LA is working on that, and we're actually honoring them for Communitas. So they're working on getting COVID vaccines in the jails. Trudy said that. Okay.
Jean Gasca.
Hi. It was one of the times when you're driving in the car and you hear part of a news report. So I'm not exactly sure about the details, but I heard that there were some Amazon deliveries of food that somehow had the wrong address, or the person wasn't home and the food got thrown away instead of being delivered to somebody else. And I was just wondering if anybody has any ideas about how to address that. There must be market deliveries, Instacart.com that don't make it to the home. And there must be a way to centralize getting that food to people that need it. So if there's any ideas, let me know.
I know that they used to we were working on that when I worked in the restaurant industry, because there was a time when restaurants were not able to, you had to throw everything out at the end of the day. And then there was a push to not do that anymore. And I'm not actually sure where that stands right now, but I know there's a way to push for something like that. And that's a good idea.
So who would, is there some kind of umbrella that would deal with that?
The thing is that I don't think so. That's the problem. I think that it would have to be piecemeal. Like, I think you could talk about, we could establish a task force that could look into it, but I think we'd have to talk to Instacart and Grubhub and separately.
Yeah,
I think.
Thank you. Thanks.
Is there anybody else who would like to share? All right, let's go on with another song from Magpie. Oh, wait, I see a hand up. Trudy. Let's see, we might have one more comment. Trudy? Okay, go ahead, Magpie.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, go ahead.
It's just a quick thank you to Janet for always being that voice of beauty and bringing us these messages through her granddaughter and through all other means of just delightfulness. I feel so much lighter for being here this morning and hearing Janet's encouraging words. I unmuted and yelped to as high as I could, because I know what a tremendous job we've done. And it just takes a spirit like Janet McKeithan to bring it to our attention. So Janet, thank you for being as lovely and warm as you are. And we are just so fortunate. I mean, absolutely fortunate to have you as the leader. Oh God, to have you as the leader of our congregation. Thank you.
Yeah, here. That deserves a general unmute. Janet, we love you so much. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank
the
you.
girl's all right with me. You know the girl's all right.
All right, Edward.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. But you all did it, most of this year all by yourself. So anyway,
not really.
I appreciate all of you guys. Yeah, it's beautiful.
We didn't do it by ourselves. You were there the whole way. Okay, Magpie, please sing us your amazing songs.
Well, we'll sing one more song, but I just wanted to add that, Elena, you're such a great poet. We just were very fortunate to be part of a project called Dear Vaccine, which was poetry from the Kent State Poetry Department and the Arizona Poetry Department, two universities coming together. They brought out these fantastic poets, and Greg and I were honored to be the segue music between them. If you want to be part of the project, I can send a link to everybody after this is all over, because it's about making sure, like Ernie's doing, that everybody gets vaccine. So, and that it's available to all communities. And we also just want to thank all of you for what you do in your community, because it's so important. Our individual activism is really what makes the world turn. So we'll just sing this last song that we wrote many years ago, and Kim used to sing with us on it.
Yeah, I think you've heard this before.
Yeah. And so please sing along. It's called...
We belong to the earth. We all belong to the earth. It's not that she belongs to us. It's we belong to her.
So thanks for inviting us to come for the Earth Day special church service. Thank Dr. Kim Harris for being out there. We miss her like heck out here, but we know that it's important that she's out there.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Kim.
Oh.
Where we sit is holy, holy is this ground. Forest, mountain, river, listen to the sound. Great Spirit moving all around me. Where we sit is holy, holy is this ground. Forest, mountain, river, listen to the sound. Great Spirit moving all around me. Let's do this one more time. Where we sit is holy, holy is this ground. Forest, mountain, river, listen to the sound. Great Spirit moving all around me.
Woo! I have a hard time stopping singing that song. Well, beautiful service, you guys. Thank you all for being here this morning and for the beautiful music and sharing. And it's great community this morning. And we're going to end with our carry on. We're going to open up our arms and our hearts and all around the world to all the people here between us and in the midst of us. And we're going to say together, carry on. 1, 2, 3.
Carry
on.
Carry on.
Carry on.
Carry on.